Let's go, baby! Bomb arrows to the rescue. Ha! No! Oh, that assist, baby! No! Don't touch him. No! You... What did I do? It's an accident. Freaking veto. I got the triple collapse! Oh! Ah! Oh, Danielle, go to the fire thing. It teleports us.
I am on mini back.
I trusted you! Trombone. This one is trombone. Yo, I got it! Yes! Let's go! Yeah! 24 hours done. 24 hours finished. Oh, time to beat. 23 hours, 28 minutes. Oh my god! We did it! We did it! Oh my god! I couldn't have done it without you guys.
What the fuck up? Holy shit!
Wait, it went through? I gave him $50. What's up, guys? It's Ping Pong Moosters bringing you some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War gameplay. What? Pen is. Oh. Pen is Penis Island. I should become a rapper. Pee-pee. What's up, guys? For those that don't know, we streamed a bit ago. What's up, Nathan? What's up, Doctor? I'm not gay. I'm trisexual. I like animals. Anyway, we are gonna be Marioing all night, baby. I also spoke with an editor for anime reaction vids. So anime reaction vids will become a thing. Sometime soon. Look at me being a huge streamer. 24/7 Mario. Hell yeah. I don't know about 24/7, but the next few days, I'm going to have to play quite a bit because I have to get down to sub 20. And I'm at 23 minutes. I need to shave off 3 minutes and 38 seconds of time. For those that don't know, earlier we did a stream with Rosquila playing Spy Party. I won, of course. I tweeted something on his Twitter. Check that out. Check out my Twitter. And you should check out what he posted on Twitter that I reposted. I mean, I could just show you guys right now, but let me just show you guys. All right, let me just show you guys. Look at that. Look what he posted. Tatel? What is Tatel? He posted, Ping Pong Masters is the best streamer I've ever seen. He's honestly just an amazing content creator. If you haven't checked him out already, you're missing out. P.S. Give him your money because I have and I don't regret one penny. What a nice guy, right? That's what happens when you lose to goddamn ping pong moosters. Oh, title. Oh, thank you. I do have to switch the title. That's what you meant. Mario! Mario. You're right. I actually screwed up. I forgot to change it. Because I literally just streamed it. So, I forgot. Thank you very much for saying that. Yeah. So that's what's happening today. Ba-da-da! Hopefully people who come in realize that I'm not versing Rosquilla again. If they don't realize, they're losers. Just kidding. Everyone is a wiener. Everyone. Kinda gay. Your mother is pretty cool, probably. I don't know. Shall we start? Shalom, gay Bowser. Haha, wrong. What's wrong? But alright, let's first see if there's... Oh, there isn't. I am hella excited. I just hope I don't get too triggered today. I need to stream for hours. I need to verse someone. That makes me feel better. Makes me feel like I'm a pro. This month has been a fever dream. I can't believe the first stream we had 3 hours 20 minutes. Then we went down to 1 hour 40 minutes. Then we went down to 40 something minutes. 35 minutes. 30 minutes. 28 minutes. 27 minutes. 26 minutes. Now, oh, I forgot the question of the day. I forgot it. I forgot to change it. I forgot some stuff because of the previous stream. I forgot to put the heartbeat monitor too, actually. I forgot heartbeat monitor to change the title of the stream and daily question. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? If you forgive me, I'll get a PB. No, don't give me a jelly bean. I might have screwed up, but I screwed up for you guys. It's honestly because I was talking to an editor for anime reaction vids, and he seemed like a cool guy. Then no. Why don't you forgive me? What if I put a new question of the day? Oh my god. That was actually good. Oh, guys, don't do it. Don't do it. Ooh, that was good. Minus 10 seconds already. Are you actually allergic to jelly bean? Oh my
Jelly bean time.
Jelly bean time! I'll eat the jelly bean after the run. Or I guess, yeah, I'm too dumb to be. I'll screw up if I don't eat it after the run. Alright, guys, if we get a PB that's below 20 minutes today, I will kiss all of you guys on the lips. If you're 18 and older. What am I saying? If I get sub 20, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't think sub 20 is possible right now. Can you guys convince me otherwise? Do you think I could get sub 20? That was already bad. PB pink. No. Oh, by the way, I've been editing the Pokemon Gaia video. And if you remember in that video, there's a Pokemon named Bussy. That's how I discovered what that word even means from Nathan. Oh, how'd your art project go, Nathan? Let's go! First try, baby. I'm happy my PB has a sucky bomb clip. Or bomb. Because it means I feel better about myself when the beginning is good. Okay. I'm gonna have to start doing that more often. I think it's better. Oh, hell yeah, bussy. But bussy. It's good, but now I have to do my face with watercolor paint. That sounds cool. That sounds kind of cool. You got Gandhi's nose? Oh my god, that was bad. Oh, I don't know how I made it, but I'm not complaining. Yes? Nice. Send a picture if you'd like on Discordo. Ooh. Oh, I barely made that jump. It sounds like he's like rapping something. The new project is 24 by 12 and no pictures. Okay. Alright. 24 by 12. 3 feet by 2 feet? Wait, that's not how feet work. 12 inches in a foot. 2 feet by 1 foot? Oh, you forgot to take? Oh, okay. Or you're just scared that I'm gonna see how ugly it was. Just kidding. Anything you can make is probably nicer than I can. Art-wise, yeah. 2 feet by 1 foot? Sheesh. I suck. I suck. That could have been gold split, possibly. If I didn't screw this part up. Possibly. I don't know. My nose keeps scratching. I wanna scratch it a little, you know? What color should I use? Blue. You should do blue and red in honor of Ping Pong Masters. That would be funny. I have to learn how to do more tricks. And movement and getting my movement better. I think even if I perfect everything, that was a bit off, but even if I perfect everything, I need to know more. My nose is scratching. My nose was scratching. Quote list is something I definitely need to fix one of these. Jesus. That was terrible. And I have to fix that too. I'm just gonna become more video. I'm gonna become more busy with anime reaction channel. So I have to stop doing things for fun, so I have more time to do other stuff. That sounds so depressing. Oh, that was almost not good. Nub. Damn, that's before your time, bro. Doctor, that's before your time. Doctor, that's before your time. Oh! I'd probably go bald anyway when you've been... Yeah, I'm not gonna be cooking, unfortunately. Sag is in chat. I will touch your mom. What? Don't do that. Come here. I took that slow, but he didn't fall, so it's okay. Oh, I almost screwed that up. Oh. Pedo? No. No, Nathan. Pedon't. Exactly. Are we doing that bad? Jesus. No, we're not, because we could still save 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Will we, though? Probably not. Oh, I need to get the app ready. I need to get the app ready. I need to get the app ready. Oh, I got it ready. I actually did it. Let's go. I did the thing. Oh, Yo, the camera almost screwed me up there. Oh. That was scary. Whoo! Oh. 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 Bro, I almost died like 10 times there. Jesus Christ, how many risks am I taking? Not enough. I could have had all the coins already. But I don't take enough risks. Oh, that was so risky. Camping, flashlight maybe? If it's gonna rain, look into the weather forecast. Maybe nice clothes for the rain. Imagine I fell off. Bro, that's such a scary jump. This game is so scary. What else for camping? Good shoes. So if it gets muddier stuff. Insect repellent, bear repellent. Stuff like that, maybe. I'm assuming you guys will have tents. But if you don't, tents. You'll need tents. You have those three? Okay. What else? What else is good for camping? I've gone camping a few times. Marshmallows? For roasting marshmallows? I don't know. Oh, minus 8 seconds. Condoms. At your age? No. I mean, if you want, but... I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, but... Probably... If you plan on having sex, then yes, condoms, but... But I thought you don't like... Oh, for my friend. Oh, okay. I guess condoms for your friend. Yeah, I was about to say, I thought you don't like you're not into that. You don't find girls or guys attractive, right? Or not attractive, but like you don't see them that way. Oh, look at this skill. Yeah? Hey, I remember. Of course I remember that. Of course I remember. Cause I'm the same way. Nah, I'm not. I find the women. Some women very attractive. How? Oh, I almost missed that, bro. That was kind of scary. I saw someone long jump there on SSL. I might have to do that. Melting furnace, rapid fire, tabletop, cool. A bumferiticum jigasipumacabimsfa. That's kind of sus. I'm never sus. What do you mean? No! I actually would have had 0-0. I'm actually a dumbass. I tried to triple jump it. You gonna bring Jews? Why? Because there's gonna be a barbecue? Good joke. That's what I was trying to do. Jesus. Cheez-Its. 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 How's the best possible time save? Oh! I'm resetting. Such a dumbass. What's up, Mudge? How you doing? Long time no chat indeed. Long time no chat IRL also. How you doing? How you doing? I've been on the grind, you know? I don't know. I've been meaning to call you actually one of these days. One of these days. That. Damn, why are you so mean to Stream Elements? Stream Elements is supposed to say something when you say F off Stream Elements, but I see your TikToks all over my page. Yeah, probably good to unfollow me. I put way too many. Did you just look up a thesaurus, doctor, and you put melting furnace and you found everything else that is with melting furnace? No, that makes no sense. Why'd you put those words? Yeah, my YouTube Shorts is doing pretty well. We're at 1,000 subs there. Oh yeah, we reached 1,000 subs on the YouTube Shorts. Wow. So that's pretty cool. Congrats, thank you. Now I just need 1,000 subs on my main channel. We're gonna have an anime reactions channel that's gonna start up beginning of next month, possibly. I'm gonna start another channel as well. Damn it! I'm gonna start a fifth channel. Hopefully. I just don't. I need to spend all my time on it. And I get lazy after stream. I get tired. I end up like watching stuff. How have you been doing though, Mudge? Don't forget to bring a dashed hasty crit. Nathan, listen to Doctor. Doctor knows what to bring. Doctor is a pro. Sometimes I get this so well. Oh my god. Doctor is a pro camper. I've been good. Supposed to be doing work right now. Well, it's nice seeing you. Or reading you. I don't see you. But it's nice for you to see me. You got distracted. Put me in the background. Or don't. I mean, do what you want, but... That's what I do with streams. When I watch streams, I just put them in the background. I've seen you play God. If anyone's a pro what? I'm not a pro. I'm good at COD. That's a good line though. But I'm good at COD, okay? Cock. Why electric air fryer oven? Oh, wasn't I supposed to... Oh. Never mind. You guys forgot, so I'm not gonna say anything. Why electric air fryer oven? Because it's 2.6 quarters, apparently. 100 watts. By the way, Mudge, I don't know if you saw. I'm a speedrunner now. I've been speedrunning every day, 12 hours a day. If I did 12 hours a day, I would have been a god by now. Well, I would have gotten sub 20, but maybe not a god, but... But yeah, I think this is bad. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, the jelly bean. Oh yeah, the TikToks. Bro, I'm an idiot, okay? You gotta remember that. I gotta eat this stupid TikTok. I mean, jelly bean. Okay, I opened it, and now I'll eat one. Ugh, it's brown. Nothing wrong with the brown, but... Pokemon... Ugh, why is it not jumping? Pokemon is not finito. I just... decided to do... This tastes like chocolate, but it tastes so disgusting. Ugh. It's too sweet. Is it chocolate? Oh, it's coffee. I think it's coffee. Taste is nasty. Pokemon, kind of finito. If I miss this again, we reset. What if I just do it from here? Yeah, we're gonna reset. That was bad. Ugh, and this jelly bean is worse. Pokemon, kind of finito. I'm trying to do monthly challenges stuff now. I changed it up. So, I mean, Pokemon will come back from time to time, but not the main focus anymore. I change it up too often, but... I think I'm good with doing monthly challenges. I like that. And I do weekly collab streams, and we've been doing that pretty consistently, so... That's been cool, too. We're gonna have a reactions channel, main channel, which is already kind of like a reactions channel. Weekly watching vids with chat, collab streams. the Stream Archive channel, Shorts channel, TikTok channel, Twitter is not a channel. And for the monthly challenges, I want to make a new challenge. You erased your game? Yes. I was playing so bad, I had to erase it. You need to buy it. Yes, I totally bought this. This is totally not an emulated game. Technically, emulated games are not illegal, I think. If you're emulating the original game. Or whatever. Wait, no. Wait, it is. I don't know. I am doing nothing illegal. Whew, that was close. I hope my lawyers will be happy with that. Shit! So you could skip, for anyone that doesn't know, you could skip this section by jumping to the left enough, and you don't need to talk to this little cameraman. So I messed it up. It saves you 8 seconds by doing that. You don't own the original copy. I own the original copy on the DS. That's true. So that counts for something, right? My mommy spent money on it when I was a kid, I think. I don't know why I jump, thinking that it'll make me faster. Okay, that wasn't bad. My bob is pretty good today. There's a way to glitch this as well, Mudge, and it saves quite a bit of time, but it's too hard to get, so I don't do that. I might have to do that to get sub 20, though. My goal is less than 20 minutes, and I've gotten 23 minutes was my best, which was like yesterday or the day before. So, we PB pretty often here. We personal best pretty often. My movement should be much better for that. Okay, there we go. That was amazing movement. It's kind of crazy to think that you could beat this game in like that I could beat this game in 23 minutes. Because when I'm just playing it, it feels like I'm just playing it. But then if I actually look at the time, it's like 2.5 minutes passed and I got a star. That's kind of cool, I guess. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yahoo! No Google, only Yahoo. This is a glitch to get the star as well. I screwed it up way too many times. That's why I reset. I usually do pretty good at it. His cap has to go... There we go. That looks good. There's a whole setup for it. Really? I messed it up. Why am I messing it up so much? And that's a way to get this. Usually there's a cannon to get that, but... So that's pretty bad that I missed that. That star. I'm going to have to go for it again. If I miss it again, that's really bad. I usually don't miss it. So today is just unlucky. And by today, I mean... the 2 tries. The 2 or 3 times I tried. Obviously, the run just started, essentially, so... I don't know if that's good. Yes! Okay, that's good. No, you see? You're here, and now we just got it. No, I like when people talk in chat. It honestly makes me play better. Unless I'm looking at chat when I'm about to die. I like chat. I like you guys. Especially you, Mudge. How's studying, though, going? Do you have a... Are you going to have an A? Are you going to have a 4.0, baby? So that's a way to get up there. And where's this guy? 6 Hokage fingered the 7th. Huh? I don't think so, bro. I mean, I wish. Damn it. This is not going to be good. I got 2 tests this week. Aw. I'm going to press the aw button. Ah! Bruh! Oh. 2 tests. None of those. Aw. Are they hard? 1,000 years of death is fingering. Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot Kakashi was the 6th. Wait, I'm dumb. That makes sense. I was thinking of the 5th and the 6th. I was like, why would Tsunade touch Kakashi? I mean, Kakashi is a freaking sexy boy. Okay, can I got so distracted by how sexy he is that I messed up. Oh my god, if I fell. Alright, this is already a bad run. Well. So you see, I'm doing worse than my PB, my personal best. I'm doing 10 seconds worse. So my best possible time, assuming that I do everything else perfectly, is going up, which is not good. But it's still it's still faster than my PB. I don't know if that made sense to anyone. But that is true, Nathan. You do have a good point. 1,000 years of pain, of death. It's 1,000 years of pain, not death. Bro, I barely hit that. It's definitely fingering. Yo, he's fingered a lot of guys. Yo, good luck. Yo, what's up, Cortez? How's the old RuneScape going? Same thing? No, pain and death are different, okay? You could be a masochist and be alive, but you can't be a masochist and be dead. What? What am I saying? Alright, let's jump here. Oh, I almost missed that. That's a short way of getting here, but if you miss it, you'll lose a bunch of seconds. Honestly, if I don't die anywhere, I have a decent run. And if I don't miss Bowser throws. Here we go! Let's go one more star here. And we'll have 8 goddamn stars. How are we plus 8 seconds? Oh, no, wait, that makes sense. I love that I changed it to blue. It actually... Oh, my God. It actually improves my, my head. No! Shit! Oh. Why are these such bad? Usually first run nice. Sometimes first nice. First run very nice. Today first run not nice. Come here. Bro! Goddamn stupid ass penguin. Oh my god, and I still almost died. Shit. Okay, this is actually a terrible run. I have to somehow not screw up a minute and 15 seconds. But listen, if I get sub 23, that would be pretty cool. I should do one full run though. Like Fairy tells me. The first run of the day I should just do the whole thing. But unfortunately, I'm dumb. And I don't do that. Okay, I missed. Oh. This is the scariest part. Or this is the hardest to get. Or this is the part I have to concentrate most on. Oh, that was lucky. Oh, that was lucky. Yo, what's up, Chris? How you doing? How you doing? Second time of the day, I think. Stream Elements likes to say hi as well. Oh my god, get the coin. Oh, I almost died. Should I take the risk, guys? I didn't take it. I'm too much of a wussy. It's okay. It doesn't say... Ah! Bro! Okay, we're taking the longer way. Oh, what's going on? There we go. Jesus. Yes. Welcome back. Back in black. I hit the sack. I'm just gonna do the stairs. I need to practice this, like, after the run or something. My bit DW sucks buttholes. It might be my worst of every split. Of every section. How you doing, Chris? You changed your color. You used to be orange, now you're green. Unless I'm seeing it wrong. Oh, thank God. It's always so scary with his throws. Whee! Let's go. Let's go. Oh, we saved some time there, actually. Okay. I don't even know how to change the color. Oh. Well, it shows differently for me for some reason. Let's go. I think it's random for me. It shouldn't be for anyone. You could click on your name and then find the color. Yeah, I have 20. My best time I got like yesterday or the day before, Cortez, 23:38. So I'm 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes 38 seconds away from sub 20. Well, 3 minutes 37 seconds away from sub 30. Yeah. So I mean, I have to get it before the end of the month. That's the challenge, right? So I'm gonna be streaming this game quite a bit, I think, because 3 minutes feels like a long time. I'm not gonna lie. I went from 27 to like 23, but I knew I was able to save time. The stuff I could save time on now is like much more minuscule, I feel. So it's gonna be hard. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Gay? No, you. Do you submit your times to the LB? What's LB? No! That was shit. All of the runs today are shit, though. And I just died. Actual shit. I'm only gonna submit if I get a sub 20. I'm not gonna submit anything else. But I mean... Okay, that was good. That was a good recovery type thing, I think. What a shit run, though. Shitty run. I mean, this run's looking good, guys. Technically, this could be a PB, so I don't need to go crazy. My BLJs the other day were insane. I got golden BLJ. Jesus, I'm just shitting everywhere. I'm literally shitting everywhere. That was terrible. That was actually terrible. But it's okay, because my BLJs are probably going to be crap anyway. I need to practice what I'm going to screw up on later. I think my movement has improved. That's probably why I got a PB also. I long jump more often now, I think. And I need to get confidence, bro. I need confidence. We're probably going to... Well, we might do a 24-hour stream February 27th to 28th to try to get sub 20. Assuming that we don't have it by then. How scary is that jump, bro? One of the scariest jumps in the game. No exaggeration. Oh, that was good. Ooh, that was actually decent. Here we go! I could gold split this if I don't screw up the next part. Oh, I almost missed. Sheesh. Okay. No. Okay. Hey, we saved 30 seconds there. I did 30 seconds. That means I did 30 seconds worse on my personal best there. That's actually pretty crazy. We're back in the running, baby. Sub 23. Just barely. Now to get a sexy MIPS. We're gonna get it because we're pro players. Yes! Yes! Let's go, baby. Okay. Yes, I see people do that fast online like that. And it works! That might be a gold. If I don't screw this up. Yes. It's not a gold. But it's pretty good. Pretty good, baby. Good enough, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cortez, I feel like we haven't spoken in so long. How's life going, man? How's RuneScape going? How's everything? I mean, you don't need to answer if you don't want to, of course, but, just curious. Just curious. Swim faster, Mario, swim faster. I messed it up. Okay, you know what? I could have screwed it up more. Really? Okay. Well, okay. This next area I actually practiced yesterday a bit. So, we might be able to do it nicely. Okay, that's good. Yes, that's exactly how I wanted it. We could save really good time here. But then BLJs become scary. Oh, I could have long jumped again. I forgot. Yes. Yes, we did it. Apparently there's a way to skip all this too, but I'm not gonna try that out yet. Yes! And we have more than red health to take on Bowser. That might be a gold split if I don't screw up now. RuneScape, it's good. Double XP right now, but all my levels are maxed. So I'm just killing stuff for money. Hey, you just grinding, baby. You grinding. I don't know how the hell I grabbed that. No! That would have for sure been a gold split by like 10-20 seconds too. 10-20 seconds, like without a doubt in my mind. But now I know I could do much better on this. That's good. Even with the miss, it's almost a gold split. What are you killing for money? BLJs, BLJs, BLJs. Some of you might be asking, why the hell is he saying? And I'll show you in a second. Okay, I messed that up. We're not going to try it again. Damn it. That's the metronome for this area. Damn it. All right. Well, PB is gone. F indeed. Doing Slayer tasks? Dragons. Oh, I remember green dragons and stuff, right? Maybe I'm gonna turn this off, the metronome. I remember getting it with the metronome. We're so good in OSRS. Oh, and the original they're not? I mean, in the new one it's not? Okay. Pretty shit, but... okay. No? Ooh. Are green dragons still a thing? I don't know much about the newer RuneScape. It's impossible to BB now. Unless I do this in record time. But it's okay. It's not like every goddamn run's gonna be a PB. There's still a thing? Oh. Did they just take OS... Did they just take old school and make it... and add a few things? Or did they add... Or is it like very different? That is not what I meant to do. That is what I meant to do. Okay. Come on, Ping. No metronome. No metronome. Don't be scared of the BLJs. Embrace them. I really should learn the skip here more effectively. Come on. Because I could have skipped all of that. Okay. Whew. No, 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 no. Don't hit me. 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 Oh my god, guys. Are we going to PB? Even if I screw up a lot, though, I don't get sub 30 anymore. I mean, I always get, almost always get sub 30 now, which is pretty cool. Well, there's no PB now, but hey, we get good practice with his big ass tail. Yes. Okay. When I'm not nervous, I think it's easier to hit. Come on. Never mind. I still suck. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. No. What am I doing? If I miss this, unsubscribe. Oh my god, I don't know how I got that. Give me your tail. Come on. That was a little off. No, no fire, no fire. Shit, I had to throw it. Oh, yes. That somehow hit. Bruh. Imagine dying there. That would be not me. Unsubscribe. No! Yo, Mac, what's up? You got a randomly generated Crunchyroll with premium? What? How? Guys, we just PB'd. Oh my god, that was so crazy. Oh my god, what a great run. JK. Hey, Fairy, what's up? I need to verse you. When I verse you, I PB, and I feel better about myself. Very sick. My gameplay, or you're feeling very sick? How you doing? How you doing? That's crazy, Mac. You also have a Funimation account? I didn't... Is Funimation better? Crunchyroll's better, no, Mac? Till premium runs out, I'm gonna stop using Gazoro. Good idea. You're down to race? Let's go. I hope you didn't get better. Did you get better? Do you have to give me a time advantage? Crunchyroll is better. Oh, you were unwell. Oh. Well, I hope you feel better. I'll let you win a game then, because I'll feel bad. Just kidding, just kidding. Why aren't you showing up? I'll send... Crunchyroll is better. Hell yeah. I'll send screenshots in Discord. Alright. Alright. Oh my god, Pokemon Platinum. Damn, that's crazy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Thinking he could beat me. He beat me 1 out of what? 5, 6 games? Sag. Damn, he's quick. Damn, he's quick. Oh, you long jump there. I gotta learn. I gotta learn. I feel like my camera placement's so dumb when watching this. Damn, you changed your camera real nice. You do that? Oh my god, bro. You actually do that in your runs? Huh. Nice. Anyway. Send it in gallery. Oh, gallery. Hey, you want to show everyone this? Nico Post Snow. What does that mean, Nico Post Snow? Okay, you're not showing any. Awesome. I don't know who that character is. This character looks hot, though. Guys, I could have been bald a few days ago, for those that don't know. Nathan is level 11. Cool. Did you just watch my run at like 5 times speed? I have, yeah, 2 times speed. I'm not a savage. 2 times is the max. Why do you have a bunny there? Is that a bunny? It's a raccoon. Why do you have this animal there? It's kind of cool. I want something on mine. All right, are you gonna stream it? We're gonna do races now, guys. You guys could bet points on who wins. Wow! Is the XKCD? Yes, of course I know what that is. The XKCD. I just need to set up. All right, I'll practice a little then. Actually, no. I'm scared to change emulators. It screws up sometimes. If PP wins, I'll give him 10 Crunchyroll accounts. Ooh, Fairy, can you lose on purpose? So I get 10 accounts. I'll give you one of them. Why didn't NordVPN work, though? It actually works, and I'm surprised. Last year, I had an extension that would let you play videos at any speed. What? You're joking. Why would you want to watch stuff at 11 times speed? I don't know. I'm so tired lately. I'm like a baby. I wake up, I'm like, ugh! And then when it's too cold, I just stay in bed for an hour. Which is really bad because I have a lot to get done. And then I'm busy, and then I stream, and then I get lazy after stream. The beginning of my days and the end of my days are just like chilling. I'll activate that Sharingan, baby. I haven't warmed up, and I'm ill. Me losing is likely. True. But I'm not giving you any time benefit, okay? Because you're much better than me. Okie dokie, artichoke. Guys, do you think I'm gonna be a FAMAS streamer next year, week, day, tomorrow? I feel like it's so easy to become a big streamer. You know, like I could easily just like kiss up to one of the huge streamers, and then I will no. Do you prefer Buffalo Wild? Ooh, Buffalo Wild Wings sounds better. Yeah. No, I have my friend's Disney Plus, and I have Crunchyroll already. I'll take Buffalo Wild Wings, please. Why do you have these things? Mac, you're gonna grow up, hack into the US government, like hack everything and just become a hacker, and then you're gonna be like, "Hey, can I work for you guys cuz I hacked everything that you own?" They're going to be like, "Fine." I feel like that's who you're going to become when you're older. Ba, 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 da, da. Ba, da, da, da. Look at this training. Will the U.S. government still be around when he grows? I mean, you're not wrong. That is a question. I don't know about that's the real question, but what that actually do is say no and arrest you. Actually, no. I don't know about other governments, but the U.S. actually takes hackers. And also, like, companies do that too. Like, Google, I might be remembering incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure. I remember reading a story about Google, which is a company, not the government, but hiring someone who hacked into their services. Because he's like, bro, this is so easy to hack into. You have 999 Buffalo Wild Wings. You have all those chicken wings in your house and you're not sharing any of them? It's messed up, bro. I have to get used to side jumping into a dive. I feel like I don't do that well enough. There we go. I have to do it like right away, you know? Like that. Oh, that was beautiful. Why do you have so many accounts? Maybe companies, the government will not be happy. Well, companies wouldn't be happy if you hack in either. But if you hack in and then you're like, can I get a job? Let's look it up. I'm kind of curious now. If you hack into the government, can you get a job? How do I get hired by government as a hacker? There's no open hiring facility of hacker in any country of government. I guess that makes sense. Does the government hire criminal hackers? They have done on occasion. The most famous is Kevin Mitnick. You see? After his lengthy prison sentence, he was asked to consult on some security for the U.S. government. I suspect it was not really a choice. Still did it. Not really a choice. But he still did it, guys. He still did it. Maybe companies... They pay people to hack into the companies to expose security flaws, and then they fix them. That makes sense. I have 999 G Fuel accounts. Well, when I get sponsored by them, I hope you have 1,000. I don't know. You're right. In some cases, but I don't think the government would be chill with that. Well, yeah, obviously they wouldn't be chill. But I mean, technically... Hey, listen, NSA, if you're listening, I'm joking. I don't even know how to program. Yes, my dad is a programmer, but just ignore that, okay? I don't know how to, so it's okay. It's to prevent real thieves and bad people to hack them and steal sensitive info. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's Japanese. All right, let's pop this out. There's a button that's supposed to pop it out. Yo, Twitch is actually adding two really cool things. One I've described before on stream, which is moments. The other is for streamers, which I think was announced today. Ads can actually make streamers money. So, haha, get ready to see 1 billion ads. Just kidding. Just kidding, maybe? I'll try to go to the bathroom more, NP. Mario's always tired, like a little baby, is what I was trying to say. Mario, stop it. Okay. It's a me, Mario. Hype, pump them ads out. Well, you're gonna do it because you're a mod, and I'll pay you part of the money because you're a mod. You know, that's how it works around here. So we gotta put this here. Oh, we gotta poop him out. Okay. Boop 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 boop. There we go. Ooh, he's gone. I need to see his screen. How small do I have to make this? This shows pretty much the whole thing. Where's the poop out? Oh, there it is. Ah! There it isn't. Where's the poop out? He pooped away. Did I exit? Guys, did I exit? Am I dumbass? Oh, no, it's right here. Never mind. Don't answer that. Oh, that actually works well. That works well. We could even make it a little bigger. That's what she said. There we go. I think I have to delete a star. No, I don't. Okay. Whenever you're ready. Just testing the auto split. Oh, okay. Your choices are Crunchyroll, Funimation, Buffalo Wild Wings, Paramount Plus, HBO Max. Jesus. What's on Paramount? Actually, I don't think our family has Paramount. We have Disney Plus from a friend, HBO Max from family, I think. Crunchyroll because I pay for it. Funimation I don't feel like I need. Buffalo Wild Wings, bro. I want that food. If you win, you'll get one of those account choices. Choose your winning reward. Funimation. Ugh, cool. Okay, are you ready, Fairy? I don't think the others are available in the UK. Yeah, Crunchyroll boys, let's go. Introducing in chat ads. Everyone go buy NordVPN. Get secure, watch exclusive home movies from any region without your ISP knowing. Okay, I'll do the 3, 2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go. There we go. I don't know why he didn't go. There. Or maybe he gave me a few seconds. He feels bad for me. Just ask me for an account? Don't just ask me for an account. Of course I wouldn't. That would be illegal. SpongeBob. SpongeBob is on Paramount? Yeah, I'd like my Buffalo Wild Wings, baby. Yeah, Doctor, the chat ads, basically what they're changing is that they're rolling out to a few creators. I'm assuming they're going to roll out to all affiliates and partners. Hopefully affiliates as well. Where you get a monthly payout depending on how many ads you push through. They already have that for partnered streamers. But if they actually make that for affiliate streamers like me, that would be so sexy, guys. Because... oh, I was on the wrong screen. Because that basically would mean that there's a stream delay. Oh, that makes sense. So you're actually a little ahead. I got Lakitu, baby! There's an ad right now, so... if you guys are seeing ads, I apologize. He didn't get Lakitu. Let's go! I'm already 8-ish seconds away. But yeah, if that were a thing and they actually pay us decently well, like even small creators like me, bro, guys, I could become a full-time streamer even faster and move out even faster and have cooking streams even faster. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's fine. Oh, he's lagging a bit. I haven't had time to hack. I don't say hack. Don't say. Do you have any U.S. Social Security accounts that I can have? He's like, yes. Ping Pong Moosters. Madge. Isn't it Sag? I feel like Madge is a thing, too. Welcome back from your ads. Whoever got ads, I apologize. But I do not control them. Boop. I can get you a G Fuel one? Nah, I don't want G Fuel. I was joking about that. I'm not gonna drink G Fuel. I drink water. I'm a water boy, okay? Oh, he didn't do bomb clip. I don't know where he is. I'm assuming he's a few seconds behind me. I was Social Security, not G Fuel. Okay, doctor. He's like, tell me yours, and then I could give you yours if you want. Nice. Nice ping. What am I doing? We're not even going to go for that. Oh my god. No one saw that. Barry didn't see that. That was actually trash. I'm so gonna lose. Jump! I hate this game. I actually hate this game. Bro, what the hell? This never... Jesus. My WFs today are actual shit. I'm not starting over for that. That would be retarded. That would be really dumb. Okay. Guys, when you say start over, starting over, first of all, I'm in a race, so I can't just start over. Oh, he missed two. Okay, that's better. But second of all, starting over doesn't make sense, to be honest. Like, in all seriousness, starting over doesn't make sense unless the BPT, the best personal time, which I realize now is what you meant when you said that in a past stream, Chris. When the BPT is... It only makes sense to start over when BPT is over your PB, if you're going for PBs. Let's go. Second try is decent, also. Preferably of someone that is at least 60. Or 80, close to death, so they won't find out. Best I can do is 5 Buffalo Wild Wings accounts. Nice. Lol, alright. Yeah, my bad. Just educating ya. Just gotta educate the youth. You know what I mean? I feel like a African-American preacher. Oh, come on. I did it. I'm a beast. How about a certain 16 digits, a CCV, and a date? I could give you that. It might be a little expired, but I could give it to you. Because of stream delay, I don't know how... Well, stream delay is going to be what, like 5 to 10 seconds? So I think I might be slightly ahead. Here we go! Let's go. Ping Pong Moosters. He's a coomer. What? I didn't know what rhymed with mooster. So I said coomer for some reason. I apologize. I am not a coomer. What a terrible WF. Actually trash. Just like your mom. Ah! I have to do better than him early on because he's much better than me in certain areas. You're very behind? Oh. That makes me feel better. Well, it's your first run of the day and you're feeling sick, so. Like right now, our best possible time is getting higher and higher because we screwed this up a lot. But, see, we're 10 seconds behind. But we could definitely improve on the last area, on bits. I think for my PB, I missed bits one throw with Bowser, so missing one throw is quite a big deal. To save quite a bit of time. Yeah, I'm pretty much a star ahead at this point. That was bad, but we won't talk about it. Let's see if he does Owless. He doesn't. He doesn't do... Barry does not do Owless. Chris, how's work going? If you don't mind me asking. Let's jump. Yo, I think I could have made that without even kicking. That was actually really good. And that was bad. I should have long jumped. Come on. Let's go. Still not working. Ah, school, I mean. Sorry. How's school going? How is school going? I can do Owless. It's just pointless. Does Owless not save that much time? School's good. So far, so good. Yeah, I feel like I've seen you maybe do Owless once. No. I think I saw Dalton do Owless. I don't know. I saw someone do Owless. School is good. So far, so good. Well, that's good. Stupid penguin. It's your baby. You don't care about the baby? Ooh, we were 0.4 seconds late there, but I think that's okay. That's good. Do you actually enjoy it, or is it like not enjoyable? Oh, I am doing good versus him. I am doing pretty good. Oh, he didn't screw up though, which is good. I'll screw up for him. I'll die right here. Oh, that was sexy. That was sexy. Let's go. Damn it, I thought I long jumped. Ugh. Ah! What? That's never happened to me. Well, we're tied up now. What the hell was that? This is not good. He does this much faster than I do. Shit. Come on. Oh, how's everyone's presidential day went? How's everyone's presidential day went? Half of you don't even sell. Ah! Oh my god, if I died there, I would have cried. At least let me die somewhere else. I don't know what those numbers mean. Okay, he's not that far ahead. Unless I die right now. I really should practice the... Oh my god. I really should practice the long jump strat. Ooh, cold jump. Did you just put your password for something? Did you just get hacked, Nathan? What are you talking about? We're gonna take stairs. I screw up way too much. Oh. Huh? Are you high? Wait, did he miss? Nah, this is his first throw. Oh, he got it. My friend found a pedo's address. You probably want to tell your friend not to go to that address. Ah! I did it so fast because he was ahead that I missed. Yo, call the police, bro. Or troll. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Did he... What Oh, he went in by accident. What? Oh, no. Is that faster than just going back? Oh, I didn't realize that. Terrible. Terrible run. Slamming my keyboard. Oh. Because I keep dying? Fair enough. I always thought this was faster. Well, I just assumed that it was. Interesting. He's already on SSL, but if he screws up Birdie Bird, then we're Gucci Gooch. He didn't screw up Birdie Bird. What's the next thing he could screw up? HMC, I guess. For me to catch up. I should have long jumped. He's pretty much a star ahead now. I messed up 2 times. Maybe even 3 times. And he gets ahead? He's getting ahead? What? Hey, Birdo! Oh, he missed the hill. That's good for me. He missed it twice. That's even better for me. Come on. Yes. He missed it 3. Damn, he's missing the hill a lot. Okay, he got it. It's good I got the bird, though. The birdo. I might try the triple jump here. I just gotta do it. I keep spamming photos of EDP. What the hell? That might be actually a good idea. What am I doing? What? Guys, I'm high today. I'm literally high. I've been playing like shit the whole day. Well, it's only been an hour and 15 minutes, but Jesus Christ, that was actual crap. Like, if I took a shit, like, if I pooped out of my butt right now, that's what would have come out. Jesus. Good dick, yeah. Yeah. I could have caught up if I didn't screw that up, because he screwed up the hill. I died like 3 times already in this run. Or 2 times, 2 or 3 times. I should have... Okay, that was actually decent. That was actually decent, for me at least. Nope, and I screwed it up. I screwed up at the end. Are you gonna report him to the police, Mac? I don't know how hard it is to catch pedophiles. I mean, why would I know? Ugh. Okay, he got the jump for HMC. Now the only thing I could hope for is he scoops up Mips clip. Not the only thing, but the next thing I could hope for. I say like this is so competitive. I mean, it is. I'm a competitive boyo. Or if he falls here, I guess, but... Oh, kind of scary. But I save time like that, so it's okay. Nice. Okay, that was good. That was not as good, but we got the star. Oh, he hit the wall. That's good. And he got the star. Oh, I'm consistently a star behind. A little less now, but just barely. Let's see this Mips clip, baby. I forgot my bits, my what's the area with shit? What was that? The second Bowser area, I might be able to catch up there. So I've gotten decenter there. Oh, he got Mips on the second area. Okay. So if I get it on the first, I'll be back, I think, in the game. Depending on how fast his Mips is, of course, but... Oh, he missed the grab. I actually have a chance. Yes! Let's go! I'm back in the action, baby. Let's go! We're back. What's up, Dinal? How you doing? Is that good? Shit. Never mind, we're not back. How you doing, Dinal? Bad luck, Dinal. Just kidding, just kidding. Okay, that was good. That was actually good. I redeemed myself with the second catch. Okay. If it isn't my favorite Mario speedrunner. No, we're still in the middle of the run. I just caught up a bit. But then I lost the... Not the lead. I lost the catching up a bit. We're like halfway. No, we're more than halfway. The next section is gonna be... Make it more interesting, I think. It isn't my favorite Mario speedrunner. Shittik. Already? Yeah! So the first time I ever played this, my first run of this game ever, I was learning how to play, but I paused every time I would learn how to play. It took me 3 hours and 20 minutes to beat it. Second run, an hour 40. Then it went down to 40 minutes, 35, 30, 28, 23. Now my PB is 23, but this is looking like shit. This is probably going to be like a 25, 26. Really? Okay, this is actually terrible. How? How do you not goddamn do it? I'm such a good swimmer, but I can't jump. You got no hops. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna try. I was trying to. You know what? I'm not gonna try. Ah! I was trying to do a trick to get better, but you know what? This is a race. I shouldn't. What the hell? Oh my god. Actual trash. Like, pick me up and put me in the trash. That's what that was. It was a good race until I'm screwing up so much today, Dino. Probably because the last few days I haven't played too long. So I haven't had much practice. Probably because I'm really good at making excuses, too. Shit. I was hoping to get on the second cycle here, too. I did it last run when I wasn't racing. Okay, I might be able to get it, actually. He's already on Bowser, though. Jesus. I got it. Okay, thank God. Hey, pigeons! What's up? Play a different game. I don't know how you still play Fall Guys, to be honest. Imagine dying there. Couldn't be me. Damn, he already took out Bowser. Now I just gotta hope on PB. You've got PB 2 days ago? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, but I don't know. You're not wrong. I did get PB like 2 days ago. And yesterday I got a 23 something. Possibly PB, I don't even know. That might hit. That made no sense, but I'll take it. Season 6.5 came out today. Crossplay. Oh, crossplay. That's awesome. Yeah, that was lucky. That was skillful. What do you mean? I messed up. That was gold? I mean, I'll take it, but... Huh? Okay, he's not getting BLJs. I mean, he just started BLJs, but... Not like my BLJs will be good. I don't know how I golded that. That was actual trash. That means I know I can gold it for sure. Oh, it's because now that I'm much better at making that cycle. So I could definitely gold it even more. I could gold it slightly more, I think. With my skill level right now. Yes! I've caught up. Ladies, gentlemen, watch this. Watch this. Are you guys ready? Damn it. Bruce Wayne? Is that Bruce Wayne? Wow. I love how some guy randomly comes in here, spams. And then our chat spams. Hello, Wayne. I remember you. I remember you from high school. You should have picked a name that's more common. Actually, I don't know any Bruces from high school. But good try, good try. The girl you had a crush on? Yeah, we're married. It was like the worst time to try to read chat. Sorry, Wayne. 1% real nitro? I don't even know what that means. Let's go! We're ahead! Not even a good race? What were you saying, Dino? What were you saying? How'd you know? Wait. You make 200K? You're married to the girl I had a crush on? Okay, I didn't feel that. We're both trash. But I made it. This is not a PB, but this is a win. Hey, thanks for the... Thanks for the follow. I don't know the copy pasta. I'm super close to 1,300 wins. Too easy. Yeah, it sounds like you would get bored from the game by now, no? Oh, I'm so bad with the camera, bro. Oh, actually freaking insane. Never mind. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I said this ain't a good run, and you're barely behind. I'm not even behind. I'm ahead. What are you talking about? But yeah, you're right. This isn't a good run. My bad. I misunderstood. Or I misread. Or I'm just a dumbass. I apologize. Fall Guys, I probably have like 10 to 20 wins. Bro, I honestly don't understand how you're not super bored of that game already. I would not be able to play a game for that as long as you've played Fall Guys Pigeons. Especially like, I don't know. Unless you play with people a lot. Why did I do that? Then I could see it being fun. I meant before, not now. Oh. My bad. Guys, PP, we're gonna PP. What's the copy pasta from? And also, are you actually Bruce Wayne? Or are you Bane? Are you Bruce Bane? Bottoms. Oh, he made it. And I'm gonna miss all my Bowser throws, so he actually has a chance of winning. But he's gonna miss all his Bowser throws, so I have a chance of winning. Two sucky players going head to toe. Head to toe? Head to head. That's good. Let's go. Oh, I forgot I have to grab him again. I got so used to the one throws. Let's go. Huh? Hey. GG's, baby. GG's. Never mind. You have another chance. Believe me, I play with the Sweat Squad. Oh, okay. That could make it more fun, I suppose. Ow. No. None of that. None of that malarkey. We're good. Boom! GG's, baby. GG's. Woo! Let's go. Hell yeah. Wait, how did you know IQ Plus? You're not a new viewer. That doesn't make sense. We're 2049. Wait, we saved 6 seconds on what is it called? I always forget. Bitfs. Bitfs. We saved a lot of time there. Give me that chicken wings, Mac. How'd you know about IQ Plus if you're new? Kind of sussy baka. Okay, I'm banning you, Bane. You shall be timed out for 10 minutes. Account created 8 minutes ago. Yeah, you think I'm stupid, bro? I am. Account created 8 minutes ago. You think new people would actually watch me? You're funny. Yeah. It's probably you, Dino. That's why you copy and pasted it twice. You gotta make an account months in advance if you try to trick me, okay? This is child's play, okay? L. Getting timeout kinda gay. I did not stream season 4, I think. It was Dinell. He made a second account, trying to be slick. You messed up when you IQ plussed. You gave it away, and then I just saw when your account was made. I did catch you, red goddamn handed. Damn it! Why'd you IQ mine? Did you stream? I don't think I streamed season 4. I don't think I haven't played Fall Guys in a long time. Should I do a Fall Guys challenge? Trying to get 3 wins in a row in a month. You missed out on customs then? Oh, I know that they have custom lobbies now in Fall Guys, right? Now that there's crossplay though, I think I might make a tournament with it. You better play it again. I will eventually, I think. That went quite badly for both of us, but worse for you. Yes. Mac, give me the code. You want to go for another run? I don't mind. Check out my latest video. It's pretty cool. It's about Bidoof. Because he's a doofus. I'm already so tired. I gotta stream. I gotta stream earlier, guys. Would you guys watch if I streamed earlier? You should race random streamers. Yeah. I should. I want to do at least one tournament before the end of the month. Everyone loves that, like, petting stuff. Emotes. Welcome back, Doctor. I won. And I got a PB. I didn't get a PB, but I won. So that's pretty cool. Oh, he's practicing. He's scared. Oh, and he fell. He fell. You should get a petting emote. Bro, there's a lot of emotes coming. I'm gonna hold off on more suggestions for a bit. You told me a gun emote. I don't know. Petting emotes seem kind of lame to me. They seem okay. Like, if my dog was here, that's the only time it would make sense. But maybe on dog. I guess. I could make that, probably. Top Fall Guys players. Are you a top Fall Guy player? I feel like you should... Well, I do see you stream it from time to time, I think. Do you? Maybe I don't. I think I saw you stream it once. A while ago. Maybe on dog or butt. Oh, petting butt would be good, actually. That would be funny. Is that girl's butt, by the way? Or a guy? 'Cause that's pretty cool. Dubbed the copy pasta, then got bans, then Dinell got the credit. Oh, it was you? Oh, I should have known long message would be doctor. Damn, I was like 10,000 IQ. You're going by Triple G now, nerd? Oh, I didn't even read the whole thing. Let's reread it. You're going by Triple... Wait, Dinell added to it. What? You're going by Ping Pong Masters now? I'm gonna read Dinell's first. What up, douchebag? It's Bruce from high school. Remember me? Me and the guys used to give you a hard time in school. Sorry, you were just an easy target. LOL. I can see not much has changed. Remember Hannah, the girl you had a crush on? Yeah, we're married now. I make over 200K a year and drive a Mustang GT. I guess some things never change, huh? Loser. Nice catching. What up? Lol. Pathetic. What'd he do? So you're going by Ping Pong Masters now? It's Bruce from high school. I made 200K. I make over 200K a year and drive a Mustang GT. The difference is that you made 200K. Damn, it's pretty insane stuff. Yes, her butt. Kawaii. That's pretty crazy. I wish I was a girl. No, I don't. I take it back. I don't want to be pregnant. I won, Mac. I won. I stream on YouTube more than Twitch. Yeah, I think I saw you on YouTube once or twice. Oh, those are all the big Fall Guys, guys. Yeah, I don't watch any of them. But I lurked in your chat before. Doctor told me to take the L, though. Lol. I'll send the Buffalo info. Let's go! Free Buffalo wings, maybe. Hey, you can't just practice that secret. Oh, you got it. You wanna play Fairy? Look at Fairy practicing. He needs that to beat me, because I'm so good. Who's that, Hinata? The hell, is that her emote? Bro, do you just follow a bunch of girls? Bro, you're such a simp, Dino. I don't mean it derogatorily. Don't cancel me. Give me a second. One more thing. Okay. I'll practice Lakitu. Chris Lamau, Dr. Altic. Someone actually thought that your message, Doctor, was real, and that someone from Bruce was messaging me. Simp Lee to call for this Twitch chat. I don't follow her. I pop in her stream for 10 minutes and dipped and got free sub. Bro, you look at all the girls. You might not message in their chats, but I am 100% sure that you might look at them. Huh? First of all, why did you change your profile picture and your name? I like the profile picture, though. Second of all, did you just send me information from someone else? Like an actual person's information? For buffalo wings? I don't want to use someone else's information. What the hell? Whoa, I just found a trick. When I get up, I might be able to just kick up. I'm gonna beat the FG tournament if you make one. Yeah, you would, for sure. For sure. But that will be probably in a couple of months. I'm trying to get an anime reactions channel up. So I have a lot of ideas on my mind. So once I get a few of those stuff out, then I'll be able to concentrate, and especially the Pokemon vids that I have to edit, I'll be able to concentrate on having tournaments, which I would like to have once a month with affiliate streamers.
Jelly bean time.
Thanks, Nathan. I have to eat another one. But yeah. I told you I have accounts. Where'd you think I got them from? But that's actual people's accounts, bro. That's messed up, no? I don't know. It depends on the girl. Like, I saw this one girl called Ginger the Gamer. She's really nice. Okay. Okay, simp! Just kidding. This one's nasty. Thanks, Nathan. Waste all your points. Do you guys think I should get rid of, Do you guys think I should get rid of...
It's me, Mario.
Do you guys think I should get rid of jelly beans? Normally popped into random stream depending on the game.
If you ping, you're a simp. You simp. Nagasi angry.
Oh my god. Bro, why does he get to practice and I have to wait? That's so messed up. Alright, let me practice bomb clip actually. Imagine I get bomb clip on him. That would be insane. I actually want to practice it now. No, it's okay. You could practice. You could practice. I'll practice bomb clip. Don't shoot me. Is that Bosa's? It is Bosa. Bosa delete. That's actually a great emote. What the hell? Delete your channel? Which one? I have too many. I'm too popular. I'm a popular kid. He's a popular kid. I don't know what song I was going for there. Yahoo. Google. Yahoo. Google. Yahoo. Google. That's what Mario really should be saying. Can you grab him? By the... Nice. Nice thing. Your Pornhub channel? No, you wouldn't make me delete. Oh, the stupid jelly bean is still in my mouth. You know what else is in my mouth? Your mom. I don't know. What is he, a dog? I should try a run where I go for this every time. And I don't... And I oh my god. Alright, you know what? Let's track to Shabaj. I'm gonna try the triple jump that he's doing right now. He kept screwing up on the hill, so I know why he's practicing. Oh, that was sexy. That's actually the fastest. I finally figured out how to do the triple jump. You jump right when... Oh, never mind. It's actually kind of scary. Why are you WTFing, bro? You didn't know I had Pornhub? Really immature of me. Wait, what did I say? What did I say? Guys, I don't know what I say half the time. You guys have to tell me what I said. Are you saying it's messed up for Dinell to make me delete it, right? Oh no. I'm also screwing it up. Ooh, that was good. Oh, that would suck. Oh my god, this is actually so risky. What the hell? This is harder than it looks. You disgust me. Your mom is a beautiful woman. No OnlyFans. You know I have an account, right, guys? You just won't find anything on it. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. I do have an OnlyFans account. So let's say I miss and I do this. Ooh, that's so much easier. Getting it right away is pretty hard, though, I feel like. Huh. He does. I got the link. Do you actually? I mean, don't tell them. What the hell was that? Oh my god, this is so easy to get. Never mind. Yeah. Woohoo. Da, 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 da. Oh, I barely got that. You gave it to me after that. Okay, you guys could put background music for now. You know, this is what you put, by the way. While I practice. While me and Fairy practice. Did Fairy just stop stream? Oh no, I'm an idiot. What else is new? It should show on stream. It does! It works! Let's go. You gave it to me after a bet. Yeah, I don't know if I did that, but... But, you know, who knows? Oh, okay. Let's try BLJ since he's doing BLJs. Ooh, he got BLJs pretty fast. Damn it. I screwed this up. That's fine. That loses like a second. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Oh my god. That was almost first try. I know the secret to BLJs. It's Yahoo, 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 yeah. It's just hard to actually get it. Maybe I have to look at where he lands, and the second he lands, I do it. I hate you, Mario. Oh, there you go. I'm gonna try to time this perfectly. Huh? Huh? Oh, it goes back between Z and A. But I'm holding Z. Oh no, it doesn't. It just shows it as I'm holding Z. Let's go, baby. How do you stop this from happening? He just touches the wall like a very sexy guy. Okay. Oh my god, bro. I'm actually gonna get triggered just practicing it. There we go. Okay, I have to remember. I think I have to hold down, he said. Was that right? No. Wait, can you just tell me what you have to do when you clip through there again? Do you hold down? What is it that you hold? I don't remember. Or you hold your... Hold down right. I want to get BLJs like a goddamn master. Hold right, then quickly go up. No, that. I think Fig told me something else, and it always worked. I didn't need to go down at all. It might be bottom right. Never mind. Or hold right, then quickly go up, like you're saying. Let me just try that. Bro, I had it every time once he told me that. I just don't remember what he said. Damn it. What do you mean you have... I'm just trying to clip. I'm just trying to clip. You're just a hater, bro. Maybe down, then up. Are you going to put inputs up? Yeah, put inputs. Oh my god. Right, then up. Right, then up. Let's try that. Bruh. I did right, then up, no? I don't know. Yo, it got so hot. Bro, what are those inputs? I can't read those. Put the better inputs. Well, I'll look at it again. I'll look at it again. You go up right. I don't know, man. Oh, is this badly timed ones or something? Bro, this shit is stupid. I got it when Fig told me. I just don't remember what he said. You know what? I can just look at his logs. Slash user. What is it? Figboy underscore 7777 or something? No user. Damn it. What was his name? Does anyone remember how many sevens was in his name? Oh, I got it. I'm actually a genius. I actually got it. You're moving to the joysticks to the right too soon. No, that's the other one. Left side is one of my favorite looking tracks. You need to hold forward left on the joystick after the wall kick. I heard that when you press X. He told me something and it just clicked in my mind and I forgot. The exit is in the direction that you're facing when you come in the door, by the way. Direction that you're facing. Really? Bro. This game is so stupid. It makes no sense. Okay, I'm in. I'm in. I'm looking at yours again. Huh? Oh, I did it. You just went left and then all the way right. Why does this sound like Pirates of the Caribbean? Oh. You went left and all the way right. There we go. Yeah, you went left and all the way right. Yeah, if I keep saying it, I think I'm gonna remember. Ugh. What the? You know what? I don't care. This is bullshit. This game sucks. This game is stupid. I love this game. It's so fun. I don't care. How many seconds do you even get by that? Like 2? That's not my biggest problem right now. All right, whenever you're ready, Fairy. Oh my god, imagine getting that on a run. Oh, that was so good. I've gotten that on runs before, but only like 2. Oh, he got it too, first try. All right, I'm ready. I am ready. Oh shit, you guys better brace your ears. This game's always so goddamn loud.
Me, Mario.
Oh, it saved the volume. Never mind. Okay, I'm gonna pause the music for the run. Sumimasen. And I'm so horny for this song. Oh, it's a great song. It sounds like a Pirates of the Caribbean song, though, to be honest. I gotta drink water from the stupid jelly bean. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
3. Oh, let me type it in. I need just 3 to 1, yeah. 2, 1, go. I pressed start late. Damn it. Me when ping doesn't show on screen. Oh, yeah, I'll show. Sorry. I thought I was showing this whole time. Boop, 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 doo, doo, doo. That's what fairy need. Mant, I mean. Don't shoot. My splits didn't go right. Oh. Fine, I'll wait. I mean, I didn't do my splits right either, so that's okay.
Me, Mario.
Okay. Yes, put a prediction up. Who will win? Honestly, it's anyone's game. Go! I started like 2 seconds after the go, but I think he did too, so.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle.
Wait, I didn't reset. No, never mind. Reset. I'm dumb. I didn't reset. I didn't press the reset button. Let's do it again. Let's start it again. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm a dumbass. I'm a dumbass. 3, 2, 1. Go. There we go.
It's me, Mario.
E. No, wait. What now? What keeps going up? Oh, okay. I was about. What if I reset? That would be funny. Oh, this is pretty much. I mean, I know your stream is delayed, but we're pretty much at the same point now. It looks like. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, ba-da-da-ba. He's only delayed by a few seconds, guys. I hope. I have no idea. But I guess it's delayed for everyone. I don't know how it works, bro. I'm not that smart. Ooh, we got some channel points to see who will win. Yeah, you wasted points on jelly beans, and now my mouth feels nasty. All right, I'll try to lose, Nathan.
I'll do it for you.
Watch, he's not even gonna get Lakitu. Who doesn't get Lakitu, bro? Oh, I screwed up the camera placement. Damn it, I screwed up the camera placement. But he did too, let's go! I don't know if he screwed up the camera placement, but... It's close. Yeah, if it's close, we're gonna have to... I mean, it would have to be really close, because the delay is gonna be a few seconds, right? But we'll see how things go. I have no point now, so I'll lose. I'm the 17%. Oh. You're 17% of what? People voting for me to lose? Oh. That was bad. If he gets bomb clip, shit. I fell also. Hey, even if he gets bomb clip, he won't be ahead by too much. Oh, I messed it up. Which is better for us, baby. Yes? Oh. So you put like 10 points in? Minus 1.9. We're PBing, boys. We're PBing. And girls. And everyone. Hell yeah. Now we gotta not screw up. I'm gonna... Good. Long jumping is so much better there. I've decided to start long jumping that one. Long jumping everything is just... If it's close, check splits. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm a dumbass. That makes sense. We could just check splits. We could just check the time if it's that close. Right, we don't need to do any fancy stuff. 124 points. Oh, so you put all the points on me losing. all... That's a lot of points, bro. I gotta do the faster way to get up here. I gotta learn it eventually. I feel like I won't... I feel like people don't really screw it up, so... Okay, we are too close. And now we're too far. And now we are perfect? Maybe? Let's go! I don't mind losing as long as I get a PB. That's really nice. My best... Yo, my BPT is 21. Wait, is that right? We've never gotten sub 20. That means if we gold split anything that's, you know, a second, I guess, or more, then we're going to have a chance to go sub 20. I mean, sub 21. Which is not our goal, but it's closer. You should play more in predictions. He doesn't have more points. He spent 2,000 on me eating jelly beans today. Okay, I'm actually doing really good. I don't know how he's doing. He has 2 stars, so I'm assuming he missed. That would be my assumption. And I'm hitting. My worst is probably bit DW. I think I could definitely improve on bit DW. Maybe I'll take some tips from you later, Fairy, on bit DW, if that's okay. Or maybe I just long jump it. I gotta practice the long jumping there. It always feels so scary to do in runs. If it doesn't feel like I'm gonna get a PB, I might just do it. And if I'm ahead enough, I might just do that. Ooh, you missed cannonless twice. Is it called cannon? Whatever. I always forget what they're called. Twice. Yeah, it is cannonless, actually. I think. Ooh, that was some good long jumps. Okay, well, we just missed a gold split with that, I think. Unless this is pretty good, maybe. Ooh, that was pretty good. Here we go! This might be... I don't know how long it takes to get back in to get the last star. But we're 21 seconds off a gold split. Could we get it? Is it possible? I don't know. I feel like it takes so long for the owl to come out. Yeah, it's not possible. Nope. We did really good WF for our PB. Oh, +0. Let's go. Let's go. Good run. Haste to be 2107. Oh, I'm an idiot. Best possible time is 20. Because of the run so far. I'm an idiot. That's not our best possible. Our best possible is 2055. I confuse myself sometimes. Because as we play through the run, it updates the best possible time. I'm dumb. That might have been bad. It was not bad, but it was still kind of bad? Question mark. I have to learn to not, like, die there every time. Because that wastes, like, a second or two also. Oh, we're only 1 star ahead? Jesus, did he do cannonless? How did he catch up so fast? Or were we 1 star ahead the whole time? Oh, he missed! Ooh, good. That'll give me time to practice on bit DW. As long as I don't screw that up. Oh, you clipped through the tree. Okay. I always thought the tree would like kill me. I always got scared of the tree. Hey, what a decent run so far. And we're winning. No. Why did I do that? You don't long jump for that one. The few times that you don't long jump. At least I don't long jump there. I don't know. Ooh, look at that jump, baby. No, I ground pounded. That's okay. Another thing I should probably learn to do better. But I'm too much of a wussy. I definitely gotta practice this one day soon. Ooh. Okay, good so far. Oh! That felt so scary. Oh my, he's already catching up. I'm too slow on this, man. Oh, if I died there, that would have been sad. All right. We don't take the risks. Not when we're playing for 5,000. Ah! No. Not when we're playing for $5,000. I was about to say. Mamma mia, indeed. Bro, you could fall if you want now. Okay, I got that. That saves 0.1 seconds, so pretty useless, but... Oh. Okay. I never know how to do this without losing momentum. Maybe there is no way to do it without losing momentum. Bruh. I definitely need to practice this. I actually... I have nothing left to say. Hey, I'm trying to become better, okay? What do you want from me? I have points on the line? Well, you chose the wrong person to bet on. I told you the whole day I'm playing bad. I don't know why you would bet on me. Just because I won the first one when it was his warm-up match. I pretty much lost right now. Oh my god, what the hell? Unless he screws up BLJs a lot. But in practice, he got it a lot, so I don't know. Or he dies somewhere. But I don't know where I could see him dying, to be honest. Come on. If I fall again, I'm ending stream.